just picked up this little boat motor for $50. Kind of an interesting one. I've never heard of the brand Martin before, but apparently back in the day they were pretty popular, I think, in the Great Lakes area. Anyways, I'm going to be putting this on a little 8-foot boat that I've got. And so far I figured out that it's something's either stuck or froze up. But I've also found a website where you can get just about any part for this thing. You can even get complete engine blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and try and make a video series of getting this thing running. So first thing I'm going to do is spray a little bit of fluid down the cylinders, probably some PB Blaster, and see if I can get this thing freed up. So first thing I'm going to do is try and get this rear cowl section pulled off. I'm pretty sure that's how I get access to the spark plugs. And there appears to be a screw here, one on the back and one on the other side. So I'm going to pull those real quick and see what I find. There ended up being a force screw on this lower cowling section here on the right. So I went ahead and popped that off as well, and the whole cowling came off. These spark plug wires aren't too bad looking, but those plugs are getting pretty crusty. Just kind of hoping it's not too bad on the inside. Now I'm going to pop these off real quick. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty crusty looking plug. Both of them are about that bad, so it definitely got some water inside of it at some point. Hopefully it was just moisture from the air while it was sitting for a long time. Well, either way, I'm going to spray some PB Blaster down both of these and let it soak for a day while it's laying down. So this is a Martin 60 motor. You can see the 60 there on the side of it. I was pretty sure that meant this thing was 6 horse. The research that I'm finding online is that it's 7.2 horse. But it should work just fine for that little boat that I've got. I really like these old boat motors from the 40s and 50s. They just have that old, Art Deco look to them. Well, I'm gonna have to take off the rest of this cowling. I'm hoping there should be a nut up here at the top of the crank. I've got to expose that, so I'm going to start pulling this apart further. Looks like I've just got 4 screws here to take off this pull start. I'm hoping that gives me access to the nut that'll be on top of the flywheel. I'll be using that with a breaker bar to try and get this motor to move. Oh, I'm kind of surprised that came off there that easy. Looks like I might have to clean out the gas tank. There's a little bit of crud up here. I'll have a better look at it after a while. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this wrench on here and see if I can get it to move at all. Oh, that actually broke loose. Okay. Looks like the lower unit's turning freely as well, so that's a pretty good sign. I think a valve just freed up. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera or not, but I can feel what I think is the exhaust stroke. Well, not feel it, I can hear it. Just making a little bit of a popping noise out of the end of this exhaust tube at the bottom. So it looks like there's at least 2 main screws for this lower cowl. One here, one in the same spot on the other side. There's also a screw right up here. And each one of these knobs has to come off. And from the looks of it, it's got a little set screw for a flat tip screwdriver. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop all those loose. Well, I was gonna do a compression test on it, but I've just discovered that this pull start mechanism, it's about half stuck. So I think I'm gonna have to dig into it and maybe do a little bit of cleaning and definitely put some oil on it. And hopefully the spring doesn't come flying out and have to fix that. All right, well, I'm gonna give it a good spritz of WD-40. First part wheel here, this is a hinge for opening up the gas door. And then these are part of the dog legs that come out. These are the dog legs themselves. And then we'll spray some up under here, and hopefully it'll get onto the little bearing that's up in there. So yeah, that little bit of WD-40, it made a heck of a difference. Pulling almost like brand new now. I just did the compression test on both cylinders. They're both at 75. So I think for this old motor, that's probably pretty good. I'm gonna double check online and see what it should be, but with being both exactly the same compression, that's generally a good sign. Anyways, I think this is a pretty good stopping point for this video. See you next time.